Hello, everyone. Welcome this beautiful Saturday morning. At least in South Carolina, it's cold, but it's always beautiful here. South Carolina was definitely not one of my places on my list of where I was going to live, but then again, I didn't know where I was going to live because all I needed to know was that I was leaving Seattle, Washington. I was leaving there. Got tired of the cold and rain. What's up, Zeke? What's going on, Dennis? Got tired of the cold and rain and left. What's up, retired? Hello. Did you have your grits yet? Nah, no grits. No, don't do that. What's up, Cosmic? Life for Business. Hello. Good morning. Wealthy Firefighter. Hello. Hello. Give you guys a few minutes to get up in the room. And then we're going to get to the topic. Because this is the place where you're going to get it real, man. Okay. And the things I say, of course, they haven't happened yet. So if it hasn't happened yet, it obviously has to be just my opinion. Okay. I just want to make sure that's clear. All right. But I just tell you in a way that just seems natural to me. Okay. It just makes sense. And everything the things I say, I can prove with mathematics. So I just want you to understand it's a mathematical opinion. All right. That's the best way I can say it. It's a mathematical opinion. So let me introduce myself. My name's LJ Young, and I'm a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them mathematically see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where everybody lives that believes in financing things that go down in value and wondering why they're living paycheck to paycheck. That's where I lived for the first 40 years of my life. As a college educated 6-figure earner, all that stupid nonsense that you believe is to be successful, I was all that living in the debt matrix. Okay. Until one day I woke up, found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey said, take the math that you learned in grade school and apply it to your finances and you will win with money. And that's exactly what I did. And now I'm free and I'm here talking to you guys on the mic today. As once an unconscious slave to a free alien. The aliens that you see remember the universe doesn't, the universe works in pictures. So it's what you see. It's weird. It's hard to explain this, right? Physically, when you understand things physically, you got to look at an alien. You're like, oh, okay, that's what an alien look like. But then you got to step back and say, hey, have you ever seen one yourself? No, because they don't exist, or they don't. At least they no, excuse me, they exist, but they don't look like that picture. What an alien really is a person that thinks the opposite way of the majority. That's it. That's nothing. They just seem weird. But in order for us to people like me to fit in, I have to pretend to be one of you. And how do I do that? Okay, here, let me give you an example. Hey, yeah, man, student loans are killing me. Oh man, this interest rate on this car, man, I got an awesome interest rate on this. That's how you fit in with the slaves. Oh man, I'm getting a huge tax return, man. And when I get that money, man, I'm gonna put a down payment on the car, man. I'm gonna get me a brand new car. I needed a new car. You just go, oh yeah, serious? Oh wow, okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, whatever. That's how you fit in. You know how pulling down your mask would be. This is what pulling down your alien mask is like, and this is how they would know I'm an alien. If I turned to him and said, "Hey, man, that'll be the dumbest fucking thing to ever do is finance that car. That is stupid. Only slaves do that." That's pulling down my mask because they'll turn to me and say, "Hey, what are you talking about? Everybody else around me says it's okay. Why do you say it's different?" That's pulling down your mask. I don't do that shit in public. I don't do that. You gotta be in the mood for that. This is how the channel got created because it's an outlet for me. I can be an alien as much as I want on my channel. I'm not hurting anybody. Yeah, I'm always right. It doesn't matter. Okay? So let's get to it, okay? Let me first define a slave. So if you're new to the channel, this is how to determine if you're a slave. Add up all your savings and add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. If that number's in the negative, you're a slave. Okay? Now, if you believe you're a homeowner, like you're probably walking around calling yourself a homeowner with a mortgage. You're like, "Hey, yeah, I'm a homeowner. I'm a homeowner," right? This is how to determine if you're a slave. Take your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance equals if you're a homeowner or not. If you still believe you're a homeowner, you're a slave. I'm gonna say that one more time because this is a glitch in the debt matrix, okay? Take your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance equals if you're a homeowner. If that's a large negative number, you're not. But if you still believe you are a slave. Do you understand? That's how to determine if you're a slave. All right. Now, I've been on the channel. I mean, this vaccine stuff has been just all over. Got YouTubers just talking about it. Who's gonna what race is gonna get it first? Who's gonna get it? I want you guys to understand something. None of that shit matters. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter your demographic. It doesn't matter your age. None of that matters. Those are all slaves. If you're in debt, you're a slave, and you're gonna do as you're told. Slaves believe that they have the illusion of choice. They don't have no choice. You guys don't have no choice. No choice. People they walking. Most of these channels are talking about, man, I'm not gonna take it. Oh, they're putting it on black people. They're doing no, they're not. They're putting it on slaves. This is all they got to do. Make it. They just mandate it. In order for you to get a job, you must take the vaccine. That cuts all that shit. Everybody. If you're in debt, you need a job. And in order to get a job, you must have your vaccine card. You're gonna do it. The order, even the order seems clear to me. The order of how the shots will go. It just seems clear to me. And again, this is just my opinion. Healthcare workers are gonna get it first. They have to. Even the healthcare workers that don't want to take it, you know why most of them have to? They're buried in student loan debt. They're slaves. They have to do it. What you gonna do? Quit? Can you imagine how many healthcare workers that probably don't want to take that shot? But they will be required. And this is why. This is why. Because those are the people that are going to be administering the shot to the rest of the slaves. You think when a slave comes and gets their shot, the first question they're going to ask to the person that's giving them the shot, hey, have you taken the shot? If the person giving them the shot turns around and say, nah, man, I ain't took that shot, and they're giving it to you, they're gonna know something. They're like, wait, whoa, wait a minute, wait a minute. You're giving me the shot and you haven't taken it? They would catch on. They can't have that. Then once they're required to get a job, it'll make it easier for them to require for, hey man, you're gonna it's required to travel, it's required to drive across the country, it's required whatever. But slaves are not really gonna understand that because they will have already taken it in order to get a job. So they're not gonna think it's a big deal. Now I want to make something clear. This is I'm not saying anything about the shot being good or bad. The vaccine. I'm not saying the vaccine is good or bad or whatever. That I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about who's going to be taking it first. Slaves are taking it first. That's by default. You have no choice. That's an illusion that you have a choice. Debt is the colorblind slave master. Don't care what color you are. Stop listening to that. That doesn't make any sense what they're saying. Slaves, all you need to know is slaves are going to take the vaccine first, period. Stop getting caught up in color and race. You better stop. It's holding you back. I promise you, that's an illusion. If you don't know how much debt you're in right now, you're a slave. You really don't have, and you know what's so crazy? This is the crazy part about it, and this is the best. I'm gonna try to say it the best way I can. The reason the reason why you have no choice, the reason why choice is illusion, it's an illusion to slaves, because they're choosing it to be. What do I mean by that? They're choosing to not trust mathematics. They're choosing it. How are they choosing it? They're choosing to believe they got a finance car on sale, even though they financed it for 84 months. That's a choice. If they just sat down and did the math, they would clearly understand that nobody gets a financed anything on sale, especially a car. But then they go and finance a house for 30 years and believe they got the house on sale. You didn't get the house on sale. What are you talking about? And then leave and walk around telling the rest of the slaves that they're homeowners. They all do the same thing over and over again. They're choosing to do that. And again, I'm an alien. If I walked up to him and said, "Hey man, look at this math. You're not a homeowner. That's not true." That's pulling down my mask. They start getting mad. Who are you? That's my equity. This and that. Wait a minute. You can't turn to him and say, "Hey, you didn't even have the money to buy the house, but you all of a sudden you believe the equity in the house is yours that you didn't even have the money to buy." That's pulling down your mask. You think I'm doing that in public? Hell no, I ain't doing that. Those are the people taking the vaccine. You're first. What do you think the percentage? Check this out. You guys don't really even see it. What do you think the percentage of healthcare workers are buried in fucking student loan debt? What do you think the percentage of? I think it's about 98%. They're not going nowhere. They just walk in and say, "Hey, by the way, yeah, every one of you guys are taking this vaccine, and I don't give a fuck how you feel about it." You know what they're gonna say? "Yes, sir. Yes, master." They can't quit. They're buried in student loan debt. When deep down inside, some of them like, man, I don't really. You better get rid of that. You ain't got no choice. You're a slave. You're first. I know it's a very big red pill to swallow, but hey, whatever. It is what it is. By the way, you're choosing it. Just think about it. Just what I want you to think about, especially as a healthcare worker. Just think about it. In your mind, in your body, in your soul, you want to have a choice, and it's been taken away. You don't have it anymore because of who? You. By yourself. By you. You took your choice away. It's amazing to it's I swear to you guys, it's amazing to see how they give you this illusion of choice and you guys believe it. You believe you have you believe you have choice. It's crazy. If you're making car payments, phone payments, mortgage payments, furniture payments, wash and dry payments, you are a slave. You have to work. Why? Because of yourself. I mean, I swear to God, it cracks me up when I go to these channels and they start talking about who's gonna get it first. But all of you guys are getting it first. What the fuck are you talking about? All of you on this channel talking right now. You know why you're upset? Because you have no choice. You're gonna take it. Here, I understand this shit. Even I'm not even saying I'm excluded from it. All they got to do is, hey, man, you can't do this. You got to have your shots to travel. They can put it on everything. The transition is going to be so smooth. It's going to be so easy because they're going to start it with the slaves. First, the hospital workers, and then to get a job. And then everybody's going to like, oh, we don't give a fuck if they mandate it everywhere because we already taken it. Exactly. The transition is going to be smooth. If you even want to have a chance to have choice of something, you better get out of debt. You better stop. You're a slave, man. You better stop. You better stop walking around with the slaves. This is the only place you're gonna. This is the only place you're gonna see me pull down my mask so you can clearly see that I'm an alien. Yeah, you know what's so funny? I look just like you. That physical image that you've been shown, like, oh, he's got big eyes and big head. That's a physical trick. That's a trick. That's an illusion. We look like you. It's you yourself. You get out of debt. Your whole entire financial world will change forever. Zero begins with you, nothing outside of you. If you always remember that zero begins with you, your whole financial world will change. There is no going back. Once you cross over, you'll know you have choice. And you're like, whoa, I didn't know that. I know slaves don't know that. What's up, Ill Wills? What's up, Nick? NYC? Slaves don't know they don't have choice. You think I'm gonna argue with a slave that don't even know they're a slave? I'm not doing none of that. That's pure. That's like the what's that saying that's insanity? Hey, doing the same thing over expecting different results. That's what that is. Arguing with a slave that doesn't know they're a slave. Oh hell no, I ain't doing none of that. When slaves don't know they're slaves, they ask slave questions, but you gotta remember, they don't know they're asking slave questions. That's what the superpower is. Their very question will tell you right away if they're a slave. They don't the very question, when they ask you a question, you'll know the answer to it already because of the question that they're asking. Here, let me give you an example. When they say shit like, "Hey man, is there such thing? There's some good debt and there's some bad debt." They don't know that they're adding their feelings to debt. Debt is just debt. How you feel about your debt is irrelevant. Who cares how you feel about your debt? Math doesn't care about people's feelings. Watch how long, watch how long they ride this out, man. And that Pfizer, I mean, this should be right in your face too. It'd be right in your face. I mean, that Pfizer man, I can only imagine. The Pfizer company created it. I don't know. I couldn't even imagine that contract. I couldn't even imagine it. That I bet you that amount of money right there is beyond your wildest imagination. I can only imagine. You take it, reaction, something happened, somebody died, nobody's responsible. So what? Doesn't matter. Damn, that's just like that's some powerful shit right there. It now again, there's levels to this, okay? And it's clear. These are things that are obvious to me, okay? It's clear to me. That's when I see something like that, okay? It's clear to me that there's a hierarchy. Something like that says, I don't care what you say, shut the fuck up, and this is what you're gonna do. Because think about it, think about it. Say like you made some food or something. Say like you had a restaurant and you made some food and it was getting people sick. Can you turn around and say, "Hey man, you know what? You know, you whatever, you can't sue me. I'm not responsible, whatever." You think you can get away with that? You can't get away with that. But then they come out with a vaccine and say, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're not responsible if anything happens to you." What? What? Does that make sense? That doesn't make sense to me. You know what that tells me? There's a hierarchy. That's what that tells me. And it tells me, "Oh, okay, I guess I got to respect that." Yeah, you got to respect it. You sure do. You ain't got no choice. There's different levels to the game, man. I'm 100% positive that once you reach certain levels or pieces or whatever, I don't know how it is, but certain rules don't apply to you no more. I guarantee you they fall off the more you know. Guarantee you. LJ, what's your thoughts on Bill Gates and his push for vaccines? This is how I look at it, okay? I don't know why they put okay, you gotta remember, slaves gotta have somebody to blame. That's very important, okay? That's a very important piece of the puzzle. Slaves must not look at themselves. They must have somebody to blame. So this is how I think, okay? This is when I see stuff like that because I don't really watch the news. I only hear about people talking about Bill Gates is the bloggity blah doing whatever. This is what I say to myself. Why are they putting Bill Gates in our face? Because anything, I always think the opposite, okay? If the majority are focusing on Bill Gates, I do the opposite because I'm thinking, why do they want us to focus on Bill Gates? That's how I think. I mean, if everybody's talking about Bill Gates is behind the vaccine, I turn around the other way. Okay, Bill Gates is the decoy. What do you not want to see what's going on behind me? This is how I always think. I think, what are the majority focusing on? Okay, the president doing whatever. Okay, think the opposite, because that's the program. I think he's just the front guy. He's just the guy you want to focus on. If something go bad, you can blame Bill Gates. You think one man, check this out. You think one man could do this around the whole entire world? One person? Oh, you think because he has billions of dollars, he's got the money to do it around the world? You think one person, forget the money, one man, that kind of thinking right there, that tells you, that should say a lot about yourself. If you think one man could do that, that's not true. It was this facts. Pharmaceuticals do that all the time. They have a war chest full of money for drugs that kill people. My brother-in-law worked for Johnson Johnson. You better believe it. You know, slaves. When you're a slave and you're mad about what those guys are doing, stop being mad. You're a slave. You can't do anything about it. You're a slave. When you worry about what politicians are doing, and I turn to you and say, "Hey, do you know how much debt you're in?" And you say, "I don't know." Don't worry about what they're doing. They're way beyond your pay grade. Don't even worry about any of that. Those big companies that are making billions of dollars with a bead, I bet it's more like trillions, honestly. They're making trillions of dollars, and you have 20-year-old student loan debt. Don't worry about what they're doing. You will never understand it, ever. You don't even know how much debt you're in. You don't even know. Slaves don't even know zero begins with them. You're never going to reach to what they're doing if you don't even know zero begins with you. And if you don't even know zero begins with you, you have no choices to do anything. What's up, Wayman? Cosmic says, LJ, it's a different set of rules as you go across levels. Yes, I can now clearly see that 100%. There's different rules. You better fucking believe it is. To get to certain areas, there's rules. There's things you can and cannot do, period. It doesn't matter. Even if you even if you start attaining money, but you didn't do it right, I promise you, it won't matter how much money you have. You won't reach these types of levels. Like, if you've earned most of your money, just straight up, just illegally taking money from slaves, you cannot reach this. Well, you'll never even know this type of level even exists, because you're still a slave, but you're just above the regular slave, but you don't know that you're a slave. What's up, E-Man? Not only do you not have not only do you have the illusion of choice, it's an illusion. That's an illusion. That's part of a bigger illusion. Your whole life is an illusion. If you're making car payments, your car that you're driving is an illusion. If you're making mortgage payments, that house you're living is an illusion. Now you got to go to work. Now you can't quit, but you have the illusion of if it got bad, maybe I can quit. No, you can't. All your choices are being taken away by yourself, by finance and shit. Brody, Brody said the vaccine is part of the conspiracy, says the person in $15,000 worth of debt. Exactly. There's that word conspiracy and all that other stuff. And when you hear somebody, this is what I want you to do. When you hear the word conspiracy comes out of a slave's mouth, I want you to stop them at that moment and say, what is the definition of conspiracy? What's that mean? Hey, first, if you don't know what it is, go look it up, read it, block it in your brain, look up what the meaning of it, and then I want you to walk around amongst it. I'm gonna give you a piece of alien life right now. Okay, you can do it right now. Look up the definition of conspiracy. Read it over several times. If there's words inside of the definition, make sure you take the time to define those words, then come back, look at the definition, read it so you fully understand the definition of conspiracy. And then the next time you hear a slave talk about conspiracy, I want you to turn to him and say, tell me the definition of conspiracy. None of them will be able to know. I promise you, they won't even know. Watch how many slaves will give you the exact definition that you know in your mind now. You already know the true definition. Watch how many give you that exact definition. I guarantee you none of them will. None of them will know. They won't know. That's part of the program. They keep spreading shit. They have no idea what they're talking about. None, zero. That's how it works. That's a program. That same habit will start to carry it. I promise you, if you just do that, the same. So the next time you're out amongst the slaves and you hear slaves talk about assets, this is what I want you to make sure you understand. First, you go look up the definition of an asset, lock it in your brain, understand what it truly, truly means. Like without a doubt, once you're done studying this small little, it's usually just a small little paragraph. Just understand it. Take that knowledge and go back out into the world. And every time you hear a person say, use the word asset, I want you to stop and say, hey, what's the definition of asset? Let them respond. See if they know what you know. This is how, and this is part of alien life. I'm telling you, when you hear their response, they will clearly talk as if they know what they're talking about, but you'll know the true definition of asset. That's a piece of it. That's just a piece of the world of alien life. Spell check, shaking my head. If you stop making the payments, the car will disappear. Sure will. It'll disappear. Nick says, I am trying to help this chick jump her car. She was late on payments and the company said no. Wow. See, look at that. See the choices? You don't have no choice. That ain't your car. All that. Okay. Okay. All of that, what you're doing is energy that is taken out of your life every day. You know how, like, think about it this way. Okay. And I'm going to give you an example so you can understand, especially if you're a slave if you think debt is part of life, you're a slave because only slaves believe that. That's not true. Okay. Do you know how many due dates you guys got to keep track of? You don't even realize. You think right now, you just think due dates are just part of life, right? You just believe it, right? Many due dates. That's not true. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys talk amongst yourself for a quick second. I got to take a break. One quick second. I drink a lot of water during these things. All right, I'm back. I'm back. It You guys have a lot of due dates to keep track of, which it's impossible. You can't keep up with that many due dates. You know how much energy it takes to do that? Once you get out of debt, all those due dates no longer exist. You don't have to keep track of hardly any due dates. And most of the due dates that you do have to keep track of, they're on automatic something. It doesn't make you don't even think about it. All that stuff you got to keep track of takes energy away from choice. You don't have a choice. But when you finance shit, that's you don't have no choice but to keep track of it. Once you get rid of it, now you could see that you really the biggest choice you didn't have is that you didn't own yourself. Shout out to NYC for the 4.99 super chat, Uncle LJ. So a guy who can't even stop his own operating system from catching a virus can now help stop the spread of global pandemic. Oh, oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, it, it's it's crazy, and again, like I always say, when people talk about Bill Gates, I don't look at him like that. I don't look at him like that. I just go, okay, well, he's the front person. There's there's things going on in the background this is how I look at it, okay? That's well above my pay grade. What you guys are seeing, that's generations of stuff. Okay, that's generations. That I would have to live 5 lifetimes to even catch up to that. To understand why they're doing that to cause this, whatever. It doesn't really matter. That would take generations. I'm happy to know where I'm at. I mean, I'm not like when I say happy, I'm not saying I'm complacent where I'm at because I can never be complacent because it's more and more, right? But I'm happy just to know that I know more than millions of people in the United States of America. I know something that millions of people do not. Debt is not part of life. See what KB says here? There's nothing better than being out of debt and having all your basic bills, rent, utility bill on auto pay. You definitely forget about the due date. See what I'm saying? You, I didn't even I didn't even realize that until I got out of debt. And one day it kind of just hit me. I was like, wait a minute, I don't have a bunch of due dates anymore. It just hit me out of nowhere. And I was like, it's such a relief. And when I see stuff like this going on right now, I just think I didn't even if you don't even own yourself, why do you think you have choice? Like you add up your savings, add up your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. Make sure you include your student loans, your mortgage payments, the stuff that you hope falls off your credit report in 7 years, your tickets, all of that, and you add it all up. And then go savings minus debt, how much equals how much money you have in real life. And if that's in a deep negative, you don't even own yourself. If you don't even own yourself, what makes you think you have a choice? You don't even own yourself. You don't even own the time in your life. You don't even own it. You understand one day you're going to be dead, right? You're going to die. There's nothing that's going to stop it, right? And I'm just talking natural death. One day you're going to die, correct? Doesn't that mean by default time is the most valuable thing on earth, not money? Doesn't that seems like default to me? And if you're deep in debt, You don't even own the time in your life. What makes you think you have a choice? That doesn't make any sense. You have a choice. The only choice you have right now is to trust mathematics or not. That's your only choice. And if you choose not to trust mathematics, you are choosing not to have a choice. Crazy, man. What's up, James? What's going on? Vaccines are big money for bigger companies. We talking CVS made $3 billion in a month for 2 vaccine tests. Of course, it's big money. Vaccines don't heal you. I always used to think that. Even when I was a kid, I used to go, wait a minute, they have a medicine that can stop my cold for 12 hours? But not enough to permanently stop it. No, that would stop the money. I get it. I mean, I totally get it. You know what else I also get? I realize that all I got to do is just take care of myself, and I won't have to worry about all these medicines. I won't have to worry about them if I just take care of myself. Eat right, exercise, eat the correct foods. Don't eat fast food every day. Just don't do what everybody else does. That's all you got to do. It's the simple things. They're so simple. People don't believe them. Just like getting out of debt. If you stop financing shit, and you'll be free. Oh no, man, it can't be that simple. That's why you don't believe it, because it's that simple. You want to lose weight? Yeah, stop eating. Stop eating so much. You can't say that. Slaves have a problem for every solution you give them. That's how they work. You know what? You know what woke me up as when I was a slave. I remember. I'll never forget this. When I was a slave, and this is what got me in shape. Okay, I remember I went to the doctor, and I was a little bit overweight. Right, I went to the doctor. The doctor walks in, and his stomach is sticking way out like he's 9 months pregnant, but he's about to give me some health advice. Let me say that one more time. The doctor comes in, his stomach looked like he's 9 months pregnant, but he's about to prescribe me some medicine that's going to get me. He's telling me, hey, man, you need to do this more. You need to walk more. You need to blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this motherfucker's getting paid. And look at his stomach. A light went off in my head. A light bulb went off in my head and said, hey, Ladonna, that means do it yourself. Okay. He wrote something out. He's like, okay, man, come see me in 6 months. We're going to get you. I was like, you're never, in my mind, I was like, you're never going to see me again. And he never did. I said, I'm gonna take care of this myself. This clearly tells me that he's just here for the money. Believe that. Look at his stomach. Then from that point on, I just shredded my body up, did everything that everybody said you couldn't do when you're in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. Oh man, you can't do that. You're too old. Says who? Slaves say that. I promise you that. Slaves say such things. I remember I was I remember I was at I was somewhere, okay? And I remember listening to somebody saying, "Hey man, so it's when so and so gonna retire. Oh man, he can't retire till he's age 65." You know what I thought in my head? Says who? Nobody. Slaves believe retirement's an age. That's why they're so easily led. Retirement's not an age. Who told you that? No, they never question it. Oh man, they keep moving the age. This is what slaves all they say this all the time. They don't even know they're saying it. Oh man, they keep moving the age of retirement. You says this is what if I'd said this what it would be like if by pulling down my mask so they can see me as an alien. If I walked up to a slave and said, "Hey man, retirement's not an age. Who says that retirement's an age? Who keeps moving the age? Who are you talking about? I would look around like, who are you talking about? The only person that could determine that is you, not something outside of you. They wouldn't even understand. I'd be pulling down my mask. You think I'm doing that? No. No. Now you think slaves are going to even understand what Ham is saying? The slaves wouldn't know. What do you mean? What do you mean the only way to beat that is to own that? They'd be like, well, I got plenty of it. No, not your debt, slave. That's not the kind of debt he's talking about. Me too. I see that all the time. Overweight trainers. Now there's two kind. Okay, I want you guys to so you can really understand. There's the overweight trainer that's now a trainer because they was really heavy, but they're still in the process. They love to train, and they're still losing weight as they're training people doing what they love. And then you got the overweight trainer that you can clearly see that is not doing any of that. They're just there for the paycheck. Okay, I want to make sure that abundantly clear. Make sure you recognize those two, because you could have a trainer that was weighed 300-400 pounds and now they're down to 250 or 300 or whatever, right? And they're still losing, but they're doing what they love, helping others do the same. That's different. Are they a strong man power lifter trainer? Yeah, it could be a multitude of things. I mean, when you guys get a trainer, okay, this is what's clear. When you get a trainer, pay attention to the energy of the trainer. See if it's an energy of passion, or is it energy of a paycheck. If you get a trainer and you feel like it's from don't necessarily just go by, oh, they're fat, they shouldn't be training. No, you go by the energy of that person. If you can feel the energy is for a paycheck, that's the wrong trainer. But when you feel the energy from the correct trainer, I suggest you pay them what they're asking, because you're going to get what you're looking for, because it's from passion, it's not from money. But those people, a person that understands their value, they're going to charge according to their value. Rainy Woman says, facts. My mother stated that she wanted to retire and done so on her terms. Even with being a high income earner, she lived very modestly and managed her finances well. I wish to God I would have did that, because I've made six figures for many, many years. Many years. You think I saved up? You know what I did? I was financing. The more I made, the more I financed, because I had to show the world around me that I was making six figures, which I was doing the exact opposite. I didn't know I was doing the opposite. I thought I had to show everybody around me that I was making six figures. Nope, only slaves do that. What's up, Mr. Rodriguez? Welcome. I agree with you on owning debt. Oh, talking to Ham. Okay. What's up, LJ? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Hope you finished the year strong. I hope you do too, sir. I was just over there and left a comment on one of your videos over there. I hope you got it. Thank you. Thank you. Yep. The illusion of choice. You know, I would say I feel sorry for slaves, but I can't, because they're choosing to be slaves. choosing to be slaves. They're choosing it. Sometimes it's hard to watch. You see, they don't realize that they're taking away their own choices. They don't even realize it, man. It's really tough to watch, especially if you love that person. Because it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter who it is, because debt is the colorblind slave master. It doesn't matter. The program is strong. I promise you, the program is strong. It would take you generations to even put a dent in it. They ain't worried about this system is not worried about anyone. Okay. I know you hear me talking. Oh, I'm saying this and that. It doesn't matter what I'm saying. Okay. Imagine, put it this way. I'm gonna give you like a visual. Okay. Imagine I'm in a room of grown-ups, but I'm a small baby in diapers trying to speak baby language to a room of grown-ups. Nobody's gonna be listening to me, right? That's what it's like. Shinobi, the Millionaire Next Door book. I've heard about that. Oh, let me turn this heat on. It is getting cold. Ooh, jeez. It's cold here in South Carolina today, this morning. All right, I'm back. Nick says mental slavery is stronger than scarier than slavery of old. It's not obvious if you're not looking. Yeah, but I want to make sure it's yeah, that's true. I mean, mental slavery. It's always been here. You know, it just evolves with the times. Okay, it's not really, but it's slaves choose to be slaves, and this is what happens when slaves choose this. The majority, the economy would not work without slaves. Okay, everything slaves see, like they think they get to choose who who represents them, and uh, oh, I'm not going to really take, this, especially let's try to stick with this vaccine. This vaccine, I mean, people are making videos and channels and just news spread like who's going to get it. It's all distractions, right? But they don't even realize if you are in debt, you're taking the vaccine, period. People, people that, let me show you how it works. Okay. People that in the student loan forgiveness programs, if you're in the student loan forgiveness program, you're taking the vaccine. The reason why you're in the student loan forgiveness program, because you have given up on ever paying off your student loan debt yourself. And if you have given up on ever doing that, that means you are accepting of being a slave until you're dead. You are taking the vaccine because you must have a job. You have to have a job. You have to work. You have to. See how it works? That's how it works. Most slaves don't realize student loan debt is the worst. They don't even Slaves don't even know what it says. You cannot bankrupt student loan debt. What does that mean? The only way to get out from under it, you have to pay it off. You have to. This is why they make the interest rate so low, small payments. They don't put you in jail. They don't do stuff like that. Have you noticed that? They make it so simple and easy for you to just stay there. That's by design, baby. You better believe that. Believe that. That's by design. And if you're listening to me right now, and if you're one of the millions of people that have absolutely have given up on paying you start saying things like, "Hey, you only live once." When you think about your student loan debt, okay? You only live once. It'll take me forever to pay it off, so I might as well live life now. Let me just start this business first, and then I'll take the proceeds from that and then pay off my student loan debt. Whatever, whatever, whatever you're thinking in your brain, whatever, as long as you keep it. And as long as you keep it, you are a slave. You'll be a slave until you're dead. Slaves don't have choice. They don't have a choice in anything. So they start throwing out illusion that it has something to do with color. And if you're male or you're female, if your hair is long, if you have short legs, if you're gay or straight, they throw out all those illusions on that. They just mix it up in a pot, and slaves just believe it. When all they got to do is step back and say, "Damn, do I own myself?" No, you sure don't. You don't own yourself. You don't even own the time in your life. Don't even own it. Every time, check this out. I try my best to put it in perspective, okay? Every time you sign a car loan for 84 months, that we're like, let's just walk through the scenario. The reason why you finance the car is because you have no money. That's why you're making car payments. And if you don't have the money, that means by signing an 84-month deal, you are promising money that you haven't even made yet, paid for by the time in your life. So the money that you need to spend, in order for you to earn the money, you must use the time in your life to get a job to earn it. But the money that you're about to earn is already claimed by somebody else. Do you see how that works? The money you get is already owned by somebody else. The car payments. This is why you have no choice. You have no choice. You're slaves. You guys are going to get the vaccine first. No different than when a new phone comes out, they got to work out the bugs and all this other shit. They got the same thing, no different, same thing. New temporary tags. Slaves be doing this. You guys do the weirdest things and the worst of times, and wonder why you don't have a choice to do anything. You can't even. Do you know how much? I mean, if you finance a house using a subprime mortgage in the middle of the worst economic time in history, and you do that, you have just erased choice out of your life. You just did it. You know how many times I've heard close friends of mine have done that? Oh man, they're about to buy a house. I'm thinking to myself, they have absolutely no money or the credit to buy a house, but they just got approved. I know exactly what type of mortgage they got. They just eliminated choice. I'm gonna give you. I always like to give this example so slaves can really understand what I mean. All right, so you guys can get it. So let me help you understand what I mean. I'm gonna give you an example of the glitch in the debt matrix so you can understand it. All right, $1. Now this is gonna be a series of questions. It's gonna be kind of weird, but you'll understand what it means later. Okay, $1 plus $2 equals $3. $1 plus $2 equals $3. Is that math correct? Am I right? Okay. Knowing that it equals 3, how do you feel about my answer? How do you feel it? How does knowing that the answer is 3, how does that make you feel? Does it make you happy, sad, jump for joy? How does that make you feel inside, deep inside? Do you want to no, you're probably thinking, no, it's just 3. Exactly. It's just 3. No feelings need to be attached to it. It's just 3. Okay. Take your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance equals how much of a homeowner you are. Now, how come with seeing that large negative number, how come you think you're a homeowner when you know it's not mathematically true? Why is that? That doesn't what you got to ask yourself, why do you believe that? That's a glitch. That's a glitch right there. You're not a homeowner, but you got to remember, you got to ask yourself, why do I think I am? That's the glitch. Sorry, let me pour some more water on. Now, let me go back to that same example, okay? Starting with the 1 plus 1 plus 2 equals 3. Now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to hold $20 in your hand, okay? Cash. Then I want you to go $20 minus your mortgage balance equals how much money you have in your hand. $20 minus your mortgage balance equals how much money you have in your hand. Now here's where you're going to step out of the debt matrix, or you're going to stay in it. Okay? You can either right now say, "Wait a minute." You can either say, "I still have $20 in my hand," right? And stay in the debt matrix, or you could say, "Not only do I not have $20 in my hand, I'm not even a homeowner, but yet I'm living in this house." That's when you would step outside of the debt matrix. You're like, "Oh crap, all of this is an illusion." Yes, it's all in a mathematical illusion. The illusion around you is keeping you from choice. That's what's and you've created it. The rich are not holding you back. The banks are not big, bad, and evil. They're not doing anything to trick you. They're not hiding stuff in their paperwork and all this other stuff. They're not doing any of that because you don't have to use them if you don't want. You don't have to use them. The only difference between slaves and the bank trusts mathematics and slaves do not. That's it. That's nothing more than that. When you go downtown and you see a big luxurious bank building, isn't it to me when I see stuff like that, it's obvious to me that that bank obviously trusts mathematics. Look at the building. When I see buildings like that, they're obviously making a statement. You know what that statement is? We trust math when it comes to money. Retired LJ, I'm sending a slave $100 gift card from Total Wine so she can she can stock her wine rack. And that's cool. Nigel says was playing online poker and a and Dwight guy said to me, "You're gonna have to go back to Asia when you lose this pot." What? I said, bet y'all got massive student loan debt. He said, what's your problem? He said, what's your problem? Oh, shoot. They don't like that. Look at Nicer going out there pulling down her mask. I made a bet with myself that he wasn't going to keep it for 4 months. Oh, okay, back here. My neighbors just financed a BMW SUV to show it off. This morning, I saw a new key in the driveway with his plate. Oh, bet he couldn't keep up with the payments. Oh, gotcha. Nope. Aircoin says, I was motivated by a slave family member to buy a new car for my graduation as a gift to myself. Struggled for 2 years to pay it. All right. Yep, that's true. Especially right now, man. Aircoin says, after 2 repos with the same repos, the same aunt talked, smacked, and paid it off. I was defeated after 2 repos. By the same. I'm not quite sure what you're saying there. Aunt talked, smacked, and paid it off. Anyway, this is these are the things that are preventing you from having the choice of taking the vaccine or not. Now, I'm not saying that this eliminates choice. I'm just saying that it puts you further down the line. Okay? It puts you way further down the line from the time you probably have to take it. I mean, I'm not saying that I won't even have to take it. I'm just saying it just pushes me further down the line to have to take it. Because when you're not in debt, you have more choices. Okay. The reason money is a tool, like the physical money, that's a tool. It's a tool that allows choices. It's a tool that allows choice. That's all it is. Money is choice. Like if you make a lot of money, you have the choice to eat at Ruth Chris if you want to. Maybe you want to do that once a month. If you make good money, you can do that once a month. If you have no money, that's not a choice. You can't do that. It's the same thing. If you don't have the money, your choice is fast food. That's your choice. But then again, some people don't even have that choice because fast food, man, I swear it ain't cheap. I don't really eat a lot of fast food, but when I do, when I pick up a couple things for me and the girlfriend and the kid or whatever, right? It comes up to a good chunk of change, and people do that, every day. That's crazy to me. Absolutely bonkers. The choices you make right now financially is why you're not going to have a choice about this vaccine, no matter what color you are. All they got to do is mandate it to get a job, and you're taking it. All they have to do is say, hey, we're going to come out with a second round of stimulus checks, but in order for you to get it, you must take the vaccine. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to take the vaccine to get the check. You're slaves. I know this is a huge red pill to swallow. I know this goes against most of the channels on YouTube that's talking all this bullshit. All you got to do, those words that are coming out of their mouth, like when you hear people talk like that, hey man, I'm not going to take this vaccine. You turn to them and say, do you know how much debt you're in? If they turn to you and give you a guesstimate to how much debt they're in, oh man, I don't really know. I guarantee you they're taking the vaccine. They're first. Especially if people don't know how much debt they're in, you are first. Believe that. You're first. You're first in line. You don't even know it. Hey man, you ever gonna pay that student loan debt off? Nope. Yeah, you're first. How many months you paying on that car for? 84 months? 84 months? Yeah, you're first. You're first in line. You don't even know. You're at the door. How much in student loan debt you got? $300,000. How much do you make a year? 40,000? You were most definitely first. You're basically knocking on the door saying, "Hey, let me in." Again, I'm not saying the vaccine is going to be good or bad or help people. That has nothing to do with anything of what I'm saying. I'm just saying who's going to take it first. You guys can listen to these other channels if you wanna. Over there talking about, hey man, six-figure earners this. That don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. None of that means anything. None, it don't matter how much it doesn't matter how much money a person makes. It doesn't matter. Man. Sometimes I be thinking about the slaves, man. Hey, I don't really involve my feelings a lot, but I gotta tell you, man, I feel sorry for a lot of you slaves. I do. I do. I feel sorry for you. I mean, they just do you guys so dirty. You guys don't even I mean, you do yourselves dirty, okay? They're not doing anything. It's you just don't trust. If you trusted math, you would clearly see how everything works. But if you don't, and you don't know you don't, it's pretty bad. You get caught up in the color thing and the race thing, and this race is gonna get that, and white people this and black people that. And when it comes to money, I'm talking about when it comes to finances, which is only mathematics. You start involving all that other stuff you see and hear, those are feelings. That's why I asked, I said, how do you feel about my answer of 1 + 2 = 3? How do you feel about that? That's what it's like when you involve color and race and finances. That's what it's like. That's why I asked the question in the beginning. How do you feel about my answer? Nothing. That's exactly how you feel about it. Nothing. You're right, Cosmic. It's bad out here. It's bad. I mean, you guys don't even. Uh, You guys don't even know what's coming. You can't see what's coming. It's coming. It's a big fucking tidal wave too. It's coming. You guys don't even see. The crazy part about it is this. Change is happening right now. You guys can't do anything about it. You're slaves. You can't do anything about it. You can't do nothing about it. Who cares who's in office? You don't like what they do. You don't like what the bill they signed, what law they, who cares? You're a slave. It doesn't matter. If you don't if you don't think you'll ever pay off your student loan debt, don't worry about what they're doing because you can't do anything about it. You're a slave. When you go in the chat rooms, you start arguing over stupid shit that don't even matter. You think about it. When you get into a room and you start arguing over politics and or who Democrat, Republican, this is what I want you to say to yourself. How much in student loan debt am I in? No, you say this to yourself. Every time you get involved in that, you say, do I plan on ever paying off my student loans? If the answer is no, don't worry about what they're doing. It has nothing to do with you. Nothing. Let me give you an example so you can better understand this. So you can because slaves love pictures and images in your head. I know you do. So let's put it this way. Say like you lived in a house. You and four other people for a total of five. Okay. Everybody had money to pay their rent except you. And say like the rest of the roommates, they wanted to paint the house from, from this color to a new fancy blue color, whatever, right? You're not paying rent. And the four other people, they choose on a color and say, okay, cool, we all agree on this color. And then you come out and say, well, I don't like that color. You don't pay your rent. You're not paying any utilities. You're making up excuses to why you can't do this and that. And then you come and say, well, I don't like that color. Do you think they're going to listen to you? Do you think they're going to stop and say, well, we can't paint the house this color because this person that doesn't pay shit and have no money, they don't like it? No. Now imagine the United States of America has one big house. That's how it is. Shout out to West Splash for the 9.99 super chat. Thank you, sir. Great stream, SMD. Stay blessed up. Appreciate you. Why do you think those places exist? Fast cash, payday loans, earning app, all of that's subprime mortgages, 84-month car loans. All of that stuff is designed for slaves. That's for you. The reason why you use those places and you use those apps, because you have no choice. You've taken it away from yourselves. This is what I want you guys to this is what I want you guys to think about so you guys can understand that color ain't got nothing to do with it. When they attach, imagine when they attach that say, hey man, for the next stimulus check, you got to take a shot. Then when you see the lines that are around the corner, I want you to see the color of the people. It's gonna be everyone. It's not gonna be just the black people, it's not gonna just be the Mexican people, it's gonna be everybody. Not everybody, but the majority, excuse me. Slaves. Shout out to Snuggles for the $5 super chat. Thank you, LJ. You are blaspheming, blaspheming. How dare you? To it's just the season. Because I don't care. I know it seems harsh. Okay, I know when I say this, it seems harsh, but I don't care what slaves think. I don't care. I don't care how slaves feel about what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. Shout out to Nick for the 9.99 super chat. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. He says, yes, sir. First in line. They sure will. They'll be the first ones in line. Those that are deepest in debt, they'll be first. You're right, Omega Dreads. They know they ain't paying it back. But in the bigger picture of things, you guys, I want you guys to understand something. It must be this way. That's important. There must be slaves because slaves choose to be slaves. The system, the financial system, it just exists. It's just there. It's not, the financial system is not doing anything to anybody. It's just in place. The financial system favors those who trust mathematics. That is it. That is it. It's just there. It's not bad. It's not good. It's not, when you hear slaves add feelings to, oh man, I hate the system. Oh, the system be putting me down. They're just telling you their feelings about the system. You got to ignore that. Who cares how they feel about the system? I don't feel any way about the system. It's just there. Oh man, there's good debt and there's bad debt. Why are you telling me about your feelings about your debt? Because the only debt they could be talking about is their own. They don't know about everybody else's debt. When you hear somebody's called good debt, bad debt, they can only be talking about their debt because their debt is the only debt they know about. That's how you identify slaves. This is how I identify slaves without them knowing I identify them. They start telling me their feelings about their debt, how they feel about debt. When they call themselves homeowners, knowing that they didn't even have the money to buy the home, but yeah, you're walking around calling yourself a homeowner. That's how slaves talk. Can you imagine? Listen closely. Imagine how many slaves add add the equity to a house that they don't own to their portfolios. They'll add it to their portfolio and show it to another slave, and the next slave will believe the same thing. You can't. Why are you adding something to your portfolio that you don't even own? Slaves don't know they do that. They'll add it right into their net worth like it's theirs. No, it's not. When they say shit like that, you turn to them and say, "Do you own that house?" They're going to turn to you and say, "No." Then why do you think you own the equity in that house? That doesn't even make any sense. They'll do that with many things, believing that they own the equity in something that they don't even own. See what Omega Dress says? I got to admit, though, the system is shady, but you can also, shady is a feeling. See how people just, and I'm not saying anything negative about you, Omega Dress, but I want you guys to understand something. Describing the system is a feeling. You just told the world how you feel about the system. You feel that it's shady. Okay, well, I guess you just feel that way. It's just there. It doesn't do anything to anybody. It's not doing anything wrong to anybody. It's just there. If you trust math, all you got to do is trust math and you will clearly understand how the system works. I promise you, the whole financial system. Trust math and it will set you ahead of millions of people. Millions. See, Omega Dress says, I imagine people in a state of suspended animation believing they are still middle class, but they are truly working poor. Let me explain something to you more, Omega Dreads. Economic classes don't even exist. M- Lower class, middle class, upper class, that's also an illusion. There's only two classes: the debt class and the non debt class. That's it. So let me give you an example for those of you that don't understand, because I know this is a big red pill to swallow. You've been believing that there's a lower class, middle class, and upper class your whole entire life. They've been told you this. You're like, hey, this is what it is. That's an illusion. So say like you made $200,000 a year. A person makes $200,000 a year. They would be considered the middle class. Let's just say whatever, right? It doesn't have to. It just has to be close. I want to give you this example. They would be considered middle class. But if they're $400,000 in debt, you know what class they're considered? They're considered the debt class. Middle class is an illusion. If you make $200,000 a year, but you're $500,000 in debt, you're negative $300,000. You are in no class but the debt class. None of those classes exist. Slaves must have something to view to keep their heads busy, their minds busy, and to prevent them from looking at themselves. All they got to do is trust math and say, "Hey, wait a minute! I thought I was in the middle class. No, you're $500,000 in debt. You're in no class but the debt class. Classes don't exist. Well, at least those classes. But in the debt matrix, they do. Lower class, middle class, upper class, and you guys don't believe me? I just gave you a mathematical example of what I'm talking about. Now go into the debt matrix and tell that to a slave. They won't even understand a word you're saying, even if you proved it to them with mathematics. That's the world I live in. That's why I'm an alien. That's why it's a superpower. Brilliantly when you about the world is business. And this is what I want you guys to also understand, because you're bringing up some very good points. I'll make address. Let me explain something to you. If you want to see the true success of a person's business, all you got to do is ask to see their personal credit report. Their personal credit report will reflect their business. That's what it will. It will do that. How do I know this? Because they know nothing else. How do I know that? Because their personal credit report will reflect them. You think, like, if their personal credit report is bad, that's themselves. You think they're going to treat something better outside of themselves? No, they're not. Dave says, I think more people will be in debt after the pandemic because interest rates and financial loans were lowered to bring in more slaves to keep the economy afloat. Yes. It's not to bring in slaves right now and low interest rate. It's not to keep the economy afloat. You know what it's used for? To mitigate the losses of the next few years, because they lock slaves into housing prices of today. So when it crashes over the next couple of years, guess what they're going to be still paying? They're still going to be paying, no matter how far the house drops down in value, they're still going to be paying for the price of that house today. It's going to float them, not the economy, them. Well, they are the economy, but whatever. You know what I mean? West Splash says moving in a world full of slaves at times can be very frustrating. Instead of chasing true happiness, slaves chase money to stay in debt. They do. It's very frustrating, but when you when you're out here longer and longer, you will if you this is what I do, okay? This is what allows me to tolerate slaves. I never forget they are slaves by choice. They're choosing to be slaves because they're choosing to not trust mathematics. So they're choosing it. So that allows me to have that's what allows me to say, hey, yeah, I don't listen to what slaves say, whatever, slaves are this, slaves are that. It doesn't matter because they're choosing to be slaves. So, brother, do you believe next year's we'll see people skip a recession and go right back? Oh, we're going into there's going to be the biggest this is my prediction. There's going to be the biggest crash you've ever seen happening next year. The only way to stop this tidal wave, trillions of dollars would have to fall from the sky. Trillions to stop the tidal wave that's about to happen over the next few years. It hasn't even started yet. Right now, this year is to work out the bugs. This year is to implement the new system. Right now, that's what's happening right now. It's implementing the brand new world economic system. That's what's happening. So the next few years is to work out the bugs. It's going to be it has to be that way. It has to be a crash. The board, you guys, and this is my prediction. They have to clear the board. They're sweeping off all the fakers, all the people pretending. You guys are getting removed from the board. They're buying up all the businesses in the form of help. Small business loans. Guess what? They've already known you've needed help for years before this happened. Years. They already know that. You're in debt. You're a slave. You are the only one that doesn't know it. They already knew who was going to be applying for small business loans. They have already known that for years. If you have been barely keeping up with your payments for years, you're constantly refinancing shit like that, you are going to be the first in line to get a small business loan because you can't survive. You have no money. You're a slave. They already knew who was going to rip off, they already knew who was going to try to scam the small business loans. You know why? They already knew that because they know you're going to steal it. And now you're going to owe them even more money than the loan itself with penalties and fees. Hey, you stole from us. Yeah. So what? You want to go to prison? No, then you're going to owe us till you're dead. Now we own you. They already knew who's going to steal, who's going to need it, who's not going to be able to pay it back. The board is being cleared. Across the board, businesses, real estate, all the fakers are being removed. And those people that understand that got money, like Cosmic Wisdom and Andre and all these other guys that have money and know about real estate, they about to clean fucking house. You guys don't even understand. They're gonna get the best deals. This type of real estate gain is never gonna happen again this century. They are gonna clean house. They're gonna retire. But people like that, you guys don't understand. They can already retire. They could have retired years ago, but they're gonna retire even better. The board is being cleared. They do it right in you guys. Do you understand, slaves? They do it right in your face. You can't do anything about it. You're slaves. I mean, think about it this way. The virus comes, small businesses have to close, but why does Walmart and Costco and Home Depot and Lowe's, why do they get to all stay open? Well, I don't get what's that. Their businesses, right? What's the difference between you and them? They have money and you don't. That's why they're the size that they are, and you're not. That seems pretty obvious to me. They close the small business where very few people come in and whatever. But then the big businesses have a whole bunch of people. Doesn't seem like the virus would catch it. Doesn't that make they have money and you don't. Period. They're making millions and billions of dollars and you don't even know how much student loan debt you have. And you don't even think you can ever pay back your student loan. You better shut up, slave. Hold on, one more break. Sorry guys, I did two back to back lives. I did a members only live, and this is the second live I'm doing right now. So sorry, I apologize about that. But yeah, that's where I was at. Okay, the person skip session made me lose my place. What's up, Andre? Andre's right. It hasn't started yet. Oh yeah, small businesses, right? To me, this is what I see. I'm like, okay, that's the whole board. The board is being cleared. I feel sorry for people that probably maybe paid their rent on time, have been able to pay their rent even through this recession because you've done good with your money, but you've been renting from a place, you've been renting a place from a person that doesn't know about money, and then they lose everything. Guess what? You lose too. It's all you guys are connected. All you guys are connected. I thank God every day. I live in a place I rent, but I live in a place where the landlord, he's the owner. He owns this everything. He owns it. The board is being cleared. The illusion of choice is obvious to me. When I see things, hey, you guys close, you guys get to stay open. Doesn't that seem clear to you? Doesn't that seem clear that people with money run things? That's clear to me. Buying the business backs in the form of small business loans. Then they close. Oh man, I can't maintain. 1 month out, and the business is closing down after a month. That should tell you a sign right there. If 1 month of business of not having business closes you down, there's been a problem. They will drag the net to capture as much fish as possible. Oh, you PAC. I think it was PAC, right? Oh man. But there's hope though. Okay, at the same time, I want you guys to understand something. 2020 means 2020 vision. If you take your time to see through this disaster, if you take the time, and even though just stop looking at the whole disaster outside of yourself and look at yourself and say to yourself, where am I financially? PCA. Okay, PCA. I thought it was PAC. Where am I financially? Where am I? If you don't know that answer, that is where you start. That is the business of you. Everything starts with the business of you. If you don't know that, everything you see is an illusion and some things are real. Like the example I just showed it, I just pointed out, small businesses close, but big businesses stay open. What does that look like to you? Does it seem unfair or how can they do that? They have money and you don't. That's why they're open. It's evolution. If you're a slave, you change nothing. First, you must change yourself. If you want any change to happen, you must first change yourself. Stop thinking that the people that own these businesses, they have all this money, that they're big, bad, and evil. Stop thinking like that. Stop thinking they're doing something to you. Stop thinking like that. They trust mathematics and you don't. How do I know this? If you've had a student loan, if your student loan is older than your children and or your mortgage, that's how I know this. If your student loan is older than your children and or your mortgage, don't worry about what Walmart is doing. If you gave your student loan a pet name or call it a forever loan, don't worry about what Costco is doing. Don't worry about what they're doing. That's none of your business. That's none of your business. Who cares how you feel about Walmart still being open? Who gives a fuck how you feel about it? You're a slave. Who cares how you feel? Now, you see that curse word I put in there? That's so you can feel what I said, because that's what it is. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. People come over to you, hey man, they're keeping the blacks down. Oh man, you know how they do us. You turn to them and say, "Do you have student loans?" If they say yes, you stop listening to them. You say, "Shut up." How long is your car note? 84 months? Shut up. Don't worry about what Walmart's doing. If you're late on your car payments, don't worry about what Walmart's doing. If you're getting a brand new cell phone every day that you're every year that you're making payments on, don't worry about what Costco's is doing. And see, they're gonna say it ain't about the money, brother. You know what's so crazy? And this is what I say. I don't care what slaves think or say. I don't care what slaves think. I don't care what they say. I don't even hear them. Doesn't that seem harsh? If look, check this out. If I'm like this and I'm not a trillionaire, can you imagine if I was a trillionaire, I probably would barely even see slaves. I probably don't even see them. And I kid you not, I swear to God, it's like that. You don't even see slaves. They don't. I mean, you. I physically see them, but I don't see them. And when I say I don't see them, if they're driving in their brand new cars, or if they're living in nice houses, or if they're working at a prestigious job, maybe they're a doctor or a lawyer or a pharmacist. If they're in debt, I don't care about any of that. I don't see any of it. This is how you'll become. But in the same time, I'm here to help people to make sure you can make yourself economy proof. I want you to understand something. You can make yourself economy proof. Just when an economy crashes, it doesn't affect everybody the same way. It affects everybody different ways. Everybody's an individual. I'm allergic to death. That's pretty funny. See, and I'm listening to you guys. I'm starting to see more and more people talk about t-shirts. I listen to you. So that's the direction I'm gonna be going. I'm gonna be going, hey, it's gonna be t-shirts. Because more and more people want me to make t-shirts. They keep saying it. They keep saying it. All right, I'm gonna do that. They're gonna have sayings on there on the t-shirts that's gonna not only maybe offend people, but it's gonna make them think. What does that mean? Like, my plan is this: to put sayings on the t-shirts to make people say, "What the fuck does that mean?" And then they're gonna see that in order to know the meaning of what this shirt means, they're gonna have to go to the channel to understand it. That's what it's gonna be like. They're gonna be t-shirts that make people think. Well, what do you mean? What do you mean if I have a more like if I put on a t-shirt, if you have a mortgage, you're not a homeowner. The slave is gonna see that, and they're gonna be like, "Well, what does that mean?" And then they're gonna say, "What website is that?" Oh, YouTube, SMD, whatever, right? Whatever is gonna lead them to whatever they're gonna go. But that's how it's gonna be. It's gonna make them go see what that's because they don't because that shirt worn amongst the slaves are not going to know what that shirt means. Well, that is what it feels like. This is you slaves. You don't understand that this is what it is. It's not what it feels like. I'm sorry, and I keep denying it because of the conditioning that I've been. I deny it because I can't really show you physically, but this is what it is. I walk through here. I can see slaves. You guys talk. You guys say things. You do things. You don't know that you're doing it because you don't know you're slaves. I swear to God, it's like that. We scan you. I mean, we don't really have to. You say scan because that's the best way you can illustrate it to a slave because you guys are visual. You got to think you got to say something that's movie like. Hey, I can scan you. No, it's just you just see it. You just listen. Like this is what I picture. I picture somebody that makes money. This is, and they hire me to just go with them every day. Like if you make a lot of money, let's put it this way. Say like you're a person that makes a lot of money, but it's very difficult for you to identify, like say like you want to partner up with somebody in business, okay? But it's very difficult for you to identify if they understand about money or not, right? So you hire me to bring me with you to meetings or whatever, right? Now, I don't need to know, I don't really need to understand about finance. All I need to hear is them talk about money. The person that you're considering, all I got to do is just listen to them. They won't know what I'm listening for, even if I told them. It doesn't matter. They don't need to know what I'm listening for, but I just walk in and listen. All I got to do is listen to them talk, and then when the meeting's over, I'll come back and tell you yes or no, and I will show you why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm not just saying because I got some special power. No, I can just show you. So, brother, you look at us like debt. I look at slaves as a necessary. The economy runs on debt, therefore there must be slaves. Without slaves, I couldn't be free. Like right now, I'm free because of slaves. I know that sounds funny, but I know it sounds weird, but I'm free because slaves exist. That's the only reason why I'm free as I am today, because slaves exist. If it wasn't people around to finance cell phones and cars and boats and vacations, I couldn't be free. So when I say slaves, the best way I can describe it, I mean, whoever wrote, put it this way, whoever wrote the Matrix movie, they were aware and conscious. You know how they look at people and then people are walking around like drones and just if you want to, if you want to see that, okay, I really believe I've been placed here to do the transition for you guys to see and understand, so you can see the way the world is. This is what I want you to do. If you want to see what it's like, what it's like to be debt free amongst a world of slaves, this is the best way I can show you what it's like, okay? When you go out into a crowd of people, wherever you're at, it doesn't matter if you're on a bus, it's just mainly in crowds, okay? In a crowded room, in a crowded bus, in a crowded something. I want you to turn your phone off and put it in your pocket. And then I want you to look around wherever you're at, and I want you to see how many people's how many people's heads are down into their phone. And I just want you to look back and then keep it go a wider and wider and wider picture. See more and more people. That's what it's like. That's what it's like in my everyday life. That's what I see. I see people down and now not literally in the phones. Okay. I'm just trying to give you an illustration of the best illustration I can give you for this, but just see how many people, I mean, just a matter of fact, just take your phone and put it in your, turn it off, leave it home. This will be very difficult to do because that's how you're part of the board, right? Leave your phone at home, power it off and leave it at home, and then go do your daily normal stuff. And then watch how many people's heads are bent down in their phone from in their car. Just when you stop at a light, I want you to look to the left and look to the right and see how many people's heads are in their phone at a light. And then when you go to the store and when you go into the grocery store, how many people, just look, just watch. That's what it's like. But in this world, they don't have to be in their phones. The phone is just an additional piece of it. Jules says, to piggyback off the statement you said that trillionaires don't see slaves, they might not see them as a person, but they see them as property or someone else's. Yes, they do. Yeah, yeah, thank you for clearing that, Jewel. Yes, like we see you. We see you there. I won't bump into you, right? Because I see you, right? But in the financial world, you you guys are a necessary. You're the engine of the economy. You are the engine. I promise you, you're the engine of the economy. So you are a must. But the wonderful thing about it is that you choose to be part of the engine. That's a choice. Laura says, each time I hear financing and loans, LJ appears in my head. I get that a lot. And we know numbered humans are documented as a resource property and possibly born into auditing system if you acquire debt. Yeah, that's why we have social security numbers. Why do you guys think we have social security numbers? What do you think that is? Why do you think that is? You needed to do anything. You needed to get a job. You needed to get loans. You need that number to do anything. Why do you think that is? If you're in debt, that means you don't own the time in your life. So that security number is attached to whoever your owner is. If they have papers owing money with your social security number on it, you are the property of them. To track. Ooh, you PCA. To track who owns you. Slaves, you guys don't even get it, man. When you do scams and shit like that, you don't know that you're using your social security. I mean, every now and then you might lie about, your social security number, whatever, right? But all they got to do is run your social security number. It will show what you do. If you scam, you lie, you cheat, your social security number will show. Okay, I always say this so you guys can understand the bigger picture. Okay, you hear about databases getting hacked all the time. Don't you hear about, oh yeah, I just heard the other day some bull something happened. They had a glitch or something, portfolios were missing or whatever. This so and so hacked all this person's social security numbers and identification. Have you heard anybody hacking the social security number database? Have you ever heard that happen before? Somebody broke into the social security number database and mixed up the numbers and scrambled them. And you ever heard of that? You'll never hear that ever. Even if somebody actually did it, you'll never hear about it because they will catch them. They will catch that person and own that person. You ever hear anybody hacking into the credit score database and scrambling people's credit scores up and giving people high credit scores and wiping away debt? No, and you will never hear about it ever. Because that will never happen. Even if somebody did it, you'll never hear about it. What about somebody hacking into the database that holds all the records for student loan debt? You think you'll hear anybody hacking that database? Fuck no, you won't. All of that is slave papers. I know it's a tough pill to swallow. I know to actually understand and accept that your whole life is an illusion, even choice. Even choice, man, even choice. It's a hard that's a big, gigantic red pill to swallow. This red pill is big as your body, and I'm asking you to swallow it. No one said you couldn't cut it up in pieces. No one said you couldn't cut it up in small pieces, okay? But you gotta eat it. Now here's a link. If you wanna jump up and ask me some questions, preferably new people. I want some new people to get up here and, let me help you become free. I sell freedom. That's what I sell. I sell freedom. I was just discussing this with Andre. I sell freedom. I used to think my high credit score was great until I realized it just says I pay my debt. That's a If they changed credit score to debt score, slaves would catch on. They'd be like, debt score? What the hell does that mean? Then they'll say, oh my God, what's that mean? That means I'm in debt, right? Yeah, you can't say that. So they leave the word as credit. In order to have a good credit score, you must be in debt. That's a score that says proudly, hey, I pay back the bank's money on time when they lend it to me. That's what it means. Omega Dread says, true. You ever do something and be like, where the hell does that come from? What do you mean by that, Omega Dreads? I'm not quite sure. I once had it to dislocate my finger. I once had to dislocate my finger while a white woman was crying to fight the urge of sympathy. I'm like, what? That was pretty funny. You got me there. I was like, dislocate your finger. What? Andre says, freedom is priceless and expensive. It is. I had to first realize what I was selling. I know that seems weird. I had to realize that I'm selling freedom. Once you understand what I sell, you're never going back. There is no going back. And you will carry this through generations, through the generations of people that will listen. Yep. Debts, high credit scores mean you are a good slave. You sure are. You're a good slave. Good job, slave. Thank you for paying all that interest and fees, and we will reward you with a credit score. Ta-da! There you go. Good job, slave. And slaves wear that shit like a badge of honor. When it's nothing more than that gold star that you used to get in grade school for getting your math right or get something right, not even math, but something right. You get a gold star. That's what credit scores are. They're gold stars in grade school. Good job, slave. I had this guy, I know this is kind of off subject, but just yesterday, right? I had this guy commenting on one of my posts that I did, right? This guy asked me like 10, 15 questions trying to debunk what I'm saying or say I'm lying or why I'm saying slave out of I mean, just telling me everything about my channel, not realizing that he's on my channel asking me questions. I mean, question after question after question. At the meantime, with every question, basically saying, "Oh, you're full of shit," basically, right? But he's steady asking me questions. You think I'm gonna go to your channel and ask you a question? No, that will never happen in a million years. I would never be there. It was crazy, man. I mean, and in the end, that's like in the end of all that conversation, I basically said, "Hey, man, how you feel about what I'm doing is irrelevant to me. It's irrelevant." And then he finishes off talking about, well, this page is irrelevant! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! It's like, oh, slave, poor slave. I don't argue with slaves. I mean, just think about it. Arguing with a slave that don't even know that they're a slave, and you gonna catch me arguing? No, I'm not doing that. Now, don't get me wrong. I've done that in past collaborations, video collaborations, or I'm arguing with slaves that don't know they're slaves. That's absolutely pointless. No wonder I was getting so frustrated and energy drained. I'm arguing with slaves that don't know they're slaves. I'm not doing that anymore. Those days are done. Those days are completely done. And you're a very profitable slave. Your math is no match for my jive, LJ. Check and mate, fool. It means you're compliant. Sure, you're doing what you're told. And the slaves proudly display that. Hey, man, my credit scores. And you guys don't really understand slave. Okay, I'm gonna point something. Hey, have you guys noticed that they're using stars like celebrities to get you guys to work on your credit? First, they all do the same thing on social media, especially on Instagram. They'll first put a star in the beginning of the video to catch you, to stop you, say, "Oh my God," that because I saw one with Snoop Dogg, I saw one with Ice Cube, just recently, right? It's to make you stop, look, and this star is saying, "Hey, man, get your credit straight. Do this," and then they go up, and then the video continues, but it's just regular people that you've never seen before telling you about how to improve your credit. Why do you think that is? Because slaves believe in credit. And they believe if they see a star saying it, it must be true that star has millions of dollars. So, and that star is, this is how you guys make the connection. That star has millions of dollars. So he obviously uses credit. So if he's a millionaire using credit, I guess I'm supposed to do it too. Yeah, that's why they put the star in the first place, to catch you thinking that. That's crazy. That is absolutely bonkers to me. Math is racist. That is slaves have a solution for every problem. I like that, Jewel. Hey, see, these are good slogans for a shirt. They can't hear you over their shackles. You put that shit on a shirt, that will make a slave go to the SMD channel to see what that means. They won't understand what that means. Oh man, what do you mean they can't hear you over the shackles? I don't know. Go to the channel and find out. I'm definitely starting these shirts. I'm going to talk to my brother's girlfriend. We're going to get these shirts going because you guys been asking me about these shirts for a while, and that's what I'm going to do. And these are some good slogans. I want slogans like, see what Jewel said? Those are the slogans that I want to make slaves think, force them to go to the SMD channel, or force them to ask you some questions. What does that mean? The average homeless person is wealthier than 95% of the population. I know. Crazy. Do you realize, slaves, that somebody could have $1 in their savings account, $1, and be ahead of 95% of the population? Do you realize that? They could have $1 in their savings account and be financially ahead of you. While slaves are talking about, hey man, don't leave your money in your bank. Your money's not making any. Your money's not making any money inside the bank. Why leave it there? Bloggity blah blah blah. It's not even there. The money that you believe is there, and you're like, oh, it's not making any money sitting in the bank. It doesn't matter. You don't have any money to make upon. Also, we have very female, like, men bring up celebrities in a heartbeat. I know, bring up celebrities like they're different from you. It's crazy. You motherfucking PCA. Correct. The homeless are shown as an example. Exactly. We won't because they won't accept the programming. Anyway, I hope you guys, especially in the background listening, I strongly suggest, man, if you have some questions, man, now's the time to ask. There's the link. There's the link. I just posted it. If you want to ask me a question, there's the Cash App. I always forget that. I always forget that. There we go. And those of you that have that send me Cash Apps out the blue just because you watch one of my videos, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. But if you want to have 2020 vision, man, I can help you see through all this nonsense that you're seeing. Right now is the time, because this is the start. I know you can't see it, but this right now is the beginning of a new world economy right now. And you can get in right now. Right now, this is your time to get in. How do you get in? You got to get to zero. The starting line is zero. If you can get to zero in 2020, you're at the starting line. And then when 21 hits and it starts, that's when the gunshot, that's when you hear the power of the gun go. The starting line is zero. But if you're in debt, you're nowhere near the starting line. Add up your savings and add up your debt. Savings minus debt equals your starting line. So imagine if you're $200,000 in debt, that's how far you're away from zero, which is the starting line. You start counting at zero. Slaves always forget about lonely old zero. Totally forget about him. You know what zero always says? If zero could talk, if zero could talk, zero would say, "What about me?" Everybody always skips over me. I'm a number two. I count. How come nobody knows that they have to start with me? Well, I don't know zero. Why is that? I think they've been programmed. Yeah, that's probably true. They've probably been programmed because I exist. I'm somebody. I know that's a little extreme, right? I'm just giving an example if zero could talk, okay? If zero could talk. How do you get what Andre just showed me this the other day? How do you count to 10? How do you count to 10? Now you ask the average slave that they're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and you already know they're wrong. It's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's how you count to 10. It's not 1 through 10, it's 0 through 9. Shout out to Omega Dreads for the $2.99 super chat. Thank you, sir. Zero said good morning. Good morning, Zero. Zero, you are always part of my life. I promise you. I will never forget about you ever again. Zero says, thank you. I just needed to hear that. Now you can become a multimillionaire, okay? You just couldn't ignore me. It's true, reigning woman. I'm a number two. How come one always get the credit? How come one always gets the credit when it's me that counts? I'm before number one. Everybody, you're number one. You're number one has the significance of being superior when zero is before him. One is always getting the credit. When I hear somebody say, I'm number one, I'm gonna stand up right in front of them. I'm saying, I'm number zero. Hell no, I wouldn't do that. You think I'm gonna go out in the crowd and pull down my mask like that? Hell no, I ain't doing that. You might as well pull your alien mask. You might as well pull your costume and expose that you're an alien to everybody if you say something like that. You can never say nothing like that. Zero be like, look at you. Zero's like, all my that's good. That's good. All my life I had to fight. I had to fight number one. I had to fight him. They believe him over me. All my life I had to fight. Everybody's jumping over me. Everybody's going through me because I'm round and hollow. And you just pretend but I'm here. I'm still standing. I'm standing strong. Everything begins with me. See, we're coming up with a shirt. See more shirt ideas? I'm gonna put on a shirt. Zero begins with me. No, everything begins with zero. Zero says put it in quotes. Put a zero on the shirt and say everything in quotations. Everything begins with me. People will stop and say, what does that mean? They will stop you with a shirt like that and everything begins with me and a big zero. They'll be like, everything begins with me. And then they see a zero. They'll be like, what the hell does that mean? Right. Zero is the guardian angel with the face of disappointment. It sure is. Oh, you don't see my face because I have no face. Oh, you just see through me. Well, I know I'm hollow, and I know you can literally see through me, but I don't want you to see through me. Oh man. My mother used to call me Zero because she said I never would amount to anything. Oh man. See how it's just coming up. See how it's just good. You're right. Omega dress. You're right. They'll go nuts. They'll be like, what does that mean? Yes, it does, Andre. Starts with zero. And still I rise. Show it. Oh man. Okay, t-shirts it is, man. I'm gonna get on. I'm putting in my phone right now on my things to do list. Shirts will be happening. I just gotta figure out how I'm gonna do it. I just think I had to come up with something that not so much the direct stuff that will start arguments. I think more sayings that will make slaves think. All right. Instead of saying, hey, you're not a homeowner if you have a mortgage, that just stirs slaves up and makes them mad. Just put on things that just they don't get. What do you mean zero starts? If you want to be starting with, to become a millionaire, you must start at zero. They'd be like, what the fuck you mean start at zero? In order for you to become a multimillionaire, you must start at zero. What? From zero to hero, you can save yourself. Sure can. You are the only one that can save yourself. What's up, man? This is my buddy Ken. We're about to do as soon as we schedule it, Ken and we do a lot of talks and we do a lot of deep talks. And we are going to do a members only collab soon here. I'm not sure of the date, but I'll let you guys know. And kind of like we're going to be talking about subjects, but I want you to like when him and I talk on the members only, I want you guys to listen as if you're on the phone and you're just listening to our conversations. Okay. Pretend that you're peeping in on the conversation and just listen. I want you to hear how two conscious, aware people talk. Okay. And the reason why it should be in the members only, because members only will understand the context of the conversation and not take offense to the conversation and just listen. This is what we'd call alien speak, right? When aliens speak to each other, it's for a purpose. It's because it would be too much noise to do it on the free side, because slaves' feelings would be getting involved in the conversations that we're talking about. Andre says, when someone has a negative attitude, I guarantee you they have negative balance sheets. You PC, you. Ooh, wait. Slaves, no one is going to save you. Sure ain't. Nobody's going to save you. Scout says, remember when you're an alien, there is no such thing as looking forward to the weekend. Every day is the same. Every day is the same. Saturday and Sundays, they're not special. You know why you know why slaves involve God on Friday? I'm gonna say it again. Do you know why slaves involve God on Friday? Now I know slaves are like, what the hell are you talking about? See, this is another shirt, right? You know how slaves always say, thank God it's Friday? You can't. You think I can go to a slave and say, hey, why are you involving God on Friday? Because that's how much you hate where you're at. That's why you thank God it's Friday. You hate your job. That's why you're involving God on Fridays. Slaves don't even know what they say. They put it on social media. Oh, thank God it's Friday. Why are you thanking God? I don't get it. That's how much they hate their jobs. Me too. I'm looking forward to it, Ken. We're gonna schedule it up, man. I got something coming up on, what's today, Saturday? I got something coming up on Tuesday, I believe. And when I get the details of the collab, I'm going to send that out for you guys to. No, I have something coming up on Wednesday. Yeah, collab on Wednesday the 23rd. So I'll give you guys more information on that one. It's not a YouTube collab. It's something else. Somebody reached out to me and wanted me to be part of this meeting thing he's gonna have, and it's I'll give you guys the details when I get it. You can put your YouTube channel on all the t-shirts too. Oh yeah, YouTube channel. Oh yeah, they gotta have some place to go, Randy Woman. They're gonna see that. They're gonna see these statements, and I can't just leave them lost. I gotta give them a direction where to go to get the answer. And I'm gonna point them towards the channel, and I'm gonna point them towards my my website, things of that nature. All right, so I'm gonna post this link one more time. If you guys have any questions of me, now is the time to ask. Okay, and I'm looking for new people. I want to get some new people up here to ask some questions, because I think, um, and also people that are living the debt-free life. Maybe, no, I'm just looking for the new people. Let's get some new people, ask some questions, because I want you guys to be free. I'm selling freedom. I want you to live like people that understand money. I want you guys to understand how much room is over here to be free. I'm excited about these t-shirts, man. What's up, Hellfighter? What's going on? I'm excited about these t-shirts, man. And I'll let you guys know when I have them. Okay. And I got to work out some design stuff with my brother, and get the logo on there, and how you're going to put the website and the channel, and et cetera, et cetera. But we're going to put up statements that will make slaves think and not offend them. Okay. I'm going to try my hardest to leave out things that I'm going to try my hardest to leave out things that they can have an opinion on. Okay. And it's the things that's going to make them think. Okay. I'm excited about that. Oh yeah, that's most definitely right. I'm definitely putting that on there for sure. I'm selling freedom. Even saying that, in freedom, I'm gonna have to say I'm selling financial freedom, because if I just put freedom, they're gonna see that leaves it open to opinion. Oh, what you mean freedom? You mean freedom of our liberties and rights? Oh, no, no, no. I'm just talking financial freedom. That's, you got to put it in there. Remove as much as I can of their opinion that can be entered. That's what, that's it. That's the key goal. Zero starts with you. Don't forget about zero. Zero's a number two, you know, stuff like that. That those are all things that'll make slave. How do you count to 10? Then you go 0 through 9. They'll be like, what do you mean 0 through 9? What the hell does that mean? It's gonna force them to look at then they're gonna see, okay, who's saying that? SMD, okay, YouTube channel is this, website is that. Okay, cool. And then they're gonna go there. See how it works? You got to force them to go. Don't let them read something and then make a form an opinion on it. Oh, who do you think you are? I'm not going to your stupid website to tell me what freedom. No, no, none of that. After this, I'm going to watch a video on how retirement is an illusion. Can't wait. Okay, cool, man. I appreciate it. And then go find my video that says economic classics are illusions too, or economic classes don't exist. Lower class, middle class, upper class. Go check that video out too. I got a lot of them. Now, if you want to, let me get this real quick here because I always forget. Well, I always put it in the videos too, though. But now, if you want deeper conversations, here's a link to if you want to become part of the members only area. There's the link to join. I appreciate you too, Hellfighter. Appreciate it. And I'm so crazy. I'm starting to get more and more people saying Uncle LJ, and I like it. Don't get me wrong, but I want to let you guys know how much I appreciate it because it's a sign of respect. You know what I'm saying? I had to earn people to call me that, Uncle LJ, because that's not something that people just walk up and say that to people. Hey, I decided I'm gonna call you Uncle. You know what I'm saying? That just doesn't happen. So I want to let you guys know how much it humbles me, and I appreciate that. See you later, Nicer. All right, you guys, we're gonna wrap this up here, man. I am talked out. I did a members only, and then I did this one for another 2.5 hours. Man, my voice is tired. Hope you guys take the gems from this and apply it to your life. If you're looking to be free, that is what I sell. That is my business. Okay. And there's the website right there. Go to SavingsMinusDebt.com, sign up for a consultation. Let's get on the phone and talk. I have the blueprint for you. All right. You can follow me on Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram too, right there. SavingsMinusDebt. There's my email, savingsminusdebt@gmail.com. All right. All right, reigning woman. Thank you very much. You enjoy yourself too. See you later, Nick. Body Thug. I hope I'm saying that right. Body Thug. Sal's. All right. See you guys later. See you later, Ken. I'm going to be reaching out to you, Ken. As always, Andre. Talk to you later for sure. Jewel. Shinobi. Omega Dreads. Nicer if you're still here. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful. See you later, Nick. Wayman Brown. Oh, most definitely. See what I'm saying? You guys are coming up with some good ones. See, and I want you guys to see how simple this is. It's just gonna be simple sayings. No crowded shirt. It's probably gonna be like I'm just making this up just off the top of my head. Probably the logo up front, saying on the back, because people don't want to look at your face. They don't want to Slaves don't want you to see them reading your shirt. Okay. I know it's weird. So it's gonna be on the back. All right. Because slaves don't want you to see them studying the shirt. All right. Because they're gonna think, oh, you just think I'm interested. Nope, just put it on the back. So when you turn around, they can turn around and read it without interruption of you looking at them. That's it. Yeah, catch the replay, hyphy. But yeah, I'm excited about this. I'm excited what we've come up with, and I appreciate you guys' help and keep those slogans, keep those thinking slogans coming. Something that's going to make them think, make them say, "Do you have your freedom papers? What does that mean?" SMD channel. You want to know what the answer to that question is? Yeah, go to SMD. All right, tight. Appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful morning. It's still morning here in South Carolina. It's 11:30. Until next time, all right? See you later.